superiors, how superiors or superior obliques need to be taught, and the strengthening procedures of superior oblique. So we have generalized strengthening procedures and selective strengthening. So in generalized strengthening, there is tucking, where the tendon is hooked and it is lifted to double fold over itself and secured by a non-absorbable suture. So, and there is selective strengthening of superior oblique. I'll be talking about their indications later. The tenting of the nasal fibers, which is the Harada Ito and its modifications, and where you selectively strengthen the anterior fibers, which are primarily responsible for intorsion, as Sir told us. So we're talking about a case-based scenario here. A 20-year-old female patient who presented with a torsional diplopia, which was more in down gaze, a history of head trauma following road traffic accident, a chin down head posture with bilateral limitation of depression in adduction, and a 1+ inferior oblique overaction. And there was V pattern esotropia with a minimal horizontal deviation in primary gaze. So there is a preoperative clinical photographs where we can see there is limitation of depression and adduction in both the eyes, but there is significant X cyclotorsion which is present in the left eye. So we went ahead and did a modified Harada Ito procedure. Okay. So as for any superior oblique procedures, we need to do an exaggerated FDT first, and approaching through the superotemporal fornix incision, as Sir told us previously. You hook the superior rectus. You can use a tissue retractor for your enhanced view, and the superior oblique fibers that run parallel almost 8 mm to the limbus are identified. Here this whole superior muscle, superior oblique tendon is hooked. The anterior fibers are identified, and the anterior fibers that are primarily responsible for intorsion are then secured by a 6-0 vicryl suture, which is absorbable. This is going to be then anteriorly transposed or anteriorly displaced to create an anterior-posterior plane, which is going to increase the intorsion effect of the superior oblique. So this is then inserted about from the insertion of the superior, lateral rectus, 8 mm posterior, it is advanced and then inserted through the scleral brides, again using the 6-0 vicryl sutures. And finally, you again suture them back to the muscle and advance. So now here you're suturing it back to the muscle and finally advancing the entire superior oblique anterior fibers for enhancing the intorsion effect of the superior oblique. And it is finally closed. So a post-operative clinical photograph showing complete correction of the X cyclotorsion which is present in the left eye previously. A second case scenario where you have an 8-year-old male child with a head tilt to the right, a left eye hypertropia of less than 5 degrees, an inferior oblique overaction of +3, and a vertical fusional amplitude of a 12 prism diopters. So here we can see there is significant limitation of depression and adduction in this case and maximum deviation in that case. So a superior oblique tucking procedure is done again. In this case, you have to see, we can see how lax the superior oblique tendon was. It was a grade 4 laxity of the tendon where you have to do a superior oblique tucking procedure. So again, the superior rectus is identified, the superior oblique muscle is hooked as done in previous videos. Finally, the entire tendon is hooked and identified, and here you're going to mark this is like a tenoplication where you have to tuck the muscle onto itself. So you can do an 8 mm or you can adjust your tucking depending upon the exaggerated force duction test. You might need to do more, you might need to do less. You have here we use a 4+4, a double tuck. It is passed from the insertion site and then at the 8 mm mark. And first you mark it, you pass it through the 8 mm mark, and then you have to pass a half knot. This half knot so that you can titrate your tucking according to your exaggerated FDT. So the two ends of the 5-0 ethibond are then passed to the insertion with the half knot. After that, an exaggerated FDT is again performed, and this should be almost similar to the other normal eye. After that, here it is completely similar and normal, and that's why we completed our procedure. And finally, the fornix incision was closed with 8-0 vicryl. So there's correction. Now, complications of SO strengthening procedures, you can have an iatrogenic Brown syndrome if you tuck too much. So it can occur in up to 17% cases following SO tuck, and residual vertical deviations that can be seen if large preoperative vertical deviation was present. We might need to do another procedure. So in conclusion, a good preoperative assessment is must for successful management of SO interactions. FDT must be done both prior and post-surgery to avoid an iatrogenic Brown syndrome. Harada-Ito procedure can safely be used for the correction of torsional diplopia when it is the main problem in superior oblique palsies. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha. So she has shown you nicely